BYU is traveling to Tempe to take on Arizona State. This game's 3:30 Eastern time on ESPN. BYU suffered their first loss of the season last week to Kansas. Still a good football team, still very much in control of their own destiny in the Big 12, but they got to win their last two games now. And then they got to win in the Big 12 championship. That's pretty much it. That's their path. Question number 1. Will Jake Retzlaff bounce back against a below-average pass rush for Arizona State? Now, when you watched him last week, everything was just a little bit off. He had played well. I mean, he really had played well, but early in the game last week, had a couple of misses where BYU receivers were open on downfield throws, could have totally altered the game. Threw a bad interception into the end zone at the end of the half, one that was really, really bad. I mean, not a good throw, not on the same page. People didn't like the play call, but I personally didn't like the execution. Retzlaff's had a really good year, but when he struggles, it's because he's feeling pressure and because he's feeling a pass rush. Well, Arizona State doesn't really have one, okay? Early in the year, Arizona State said, we're going to be really aggressive and we're going to try to dictate and we're going to blitz, we're going to do all this stuff. Well, they've settled things down after that first bye week, and after they lost to Cincinnati, they're like, all right, let's just calm things down a little bit. Let's get back to basics and let's start to maybe play to our strengths a bit. And as a result, they haven't been quite as aggressive, but the pass rush has dropped off. All right, they are getting pressure on just 28% of opponents' dropbacks. That's 123rd. And they hit the quarterback on just 22% of his dropbacks. That's 132nd. So, will they affect Jake Retzlaff? We'll find out. But if they can't get pressure, it's likely that Retzlaff will bounce back. Question 2, can ASU create some balance offensively? Now, if you're new to the Arizona State mania, let me get you up to speed, okay? Sam Leavitt, if you haven't watched him yet, you're going to like what you see. This is a good, scrappy, makes good decisions. He's 17-4 touchdown to interception ratio. I think he's a guy that can keep you honest with his legs. He's not going to kill you with his legs, but he can certainly keep you honest. I think he can hurt you pretty badly with his legs, but he's really come on of late. All right, they've won 5 of their last 6. The one game they didn't win was one that he did not play in. They have an elite running back in Cam Scatterbo. He should be in the Heisman mix, in my opinion. That would require Heisman voters to actually watch games. Imagine that. But I am really impressed with what I've seen from Cam Scatterbo, because early in the season, before they developed the faith that they now have in their quarterback and in their number 1 wide receiver, who I'll get to in a moment, it was kind of Scatterbo that was a one-man show, and he is very capable of shouldering the entire load if necessary for this ASU offense. And they have one super high-end wide receiver, solid tight end, but the go-to guy in the passing game is Jordan Tyson. Now, he does have some drops. He's not afraid to drop it every once in a while, but if you get beyond that, he's legit. After him, there isn't a whole lot. It's pretty clear that Sam Leavitt's really comfortable looking in Tyson's direction. He runs good routes. He's reliable. But if you can limit his production, you can slow down this passing attack. Question 3, can BYU finish in the red zone? Now, BYU going into last week had a red zone scoring percentage of 92%. And then last week, they have 4 red zone penetrations. They have 6 points to show for it. If they had just kicked field goals in the 2 drives that were stalled, they win the game, right? They lost the game by 4. They failed on 2 red zone penetrations. So if you kind of look at how things go for them, they got to finish. When they get down there, they got to finish. They might need to feature, a couple more guys in the run game. I would like to see them maybe get some more work outside of Rapati, maybe at running back. That'll be interesting. But either way, is a good, solid offense. But situationally, the reason why they lost last week is they were not very effective as the field condensed. Question number 4, if it comes down to a kick, how bad is that for Arizona State? Now, if you're watching this with children, now would be the time to say earmuffs and cover your ears, okay? Arizona State this year is 8 of 15 on field goals. That's 53%. That is 129th in college football. They are just 3 for 8 on field goals that are over 40 yards. That's 37.5%. They are 117th in college football. Now, many people have praised Kenny Dillingham's acceptance of analytics. That's fine. I'd accept analytics too if my field goal kicking unit was that bad. I'd go for it on every fourth down. Even in field goal situations, I'd probably consider going for it. So if it comes down to a kick, a late game kick, how much faith do you have in the Sun Devils? A couple trends in the game. Arizona State's covered 5 straight home games. Arizona State's also 8-2 against the spread this season. And BYU is 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 games after starting the season 6-0 against the spread. I'm taking Arizona State. It does not feel comfortable. I'm going to be honest with you. It does not feel comfortable, but I feel like the sellout and the energy around the program is going to elevate that group here in a big opportunity at 3:30 Eastern time on ESPN.